Well, piss.
It's that time again. 31 days, 31 moons. It's Halloween Horrorfest Spooktacular.
Oh, hi, Mom. It's me, your son. You're probably wondering where I am. Well, yeah, me too. Yeah, well, one minute I was in my garage just tinkering on some tombstones, and next thing you know, I'm sucked up in, what is this? Hoboken? Halloween, or at least my Halloween ritual. Yeah, I had a feeling that this thing was coming. Thought there'd be a little bit sooner, but hey, that's what she... Yeah, so now it's just me and Mr. Bones here.
Hey, how you doing?
In this spooky forest with no sense of direction or space or time. And there's just no telling how long I'm gonna be here, or frankly, where here is. But to help mark the continuing march of time, why not continue with this year's Halloween Horrorfest Spooktacular? If my math is correct, it's Saturday, October 8th. Another slasher day in a pan, in a pan. Put slasher day in a pan. Chin up, Buttercup. It's slasher day. Ooh, ominous. I dig it. When people think about horror movies, they typically jump straight to slashers, and no franchise is more emblematic of the genre than Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th and its lumbering, hockey-masked antagonist Jason Voorhees are American mainstays, having hacked, slashed, and smashed against a tree to their way to the pop culture forefront since 1980. Like a Republican congressman, Jason loves violence, punishes sex, and just refuses to die. And I mean it, this dude is just too angry to give up the ghost, having rage murdered his way through no less than 5 sequels by 1986 alone. This mute monster has been deaded and undeaded more times than you can count, provided that you can't count higher than 5. He's been drowned, chopped, axed, spontaneously unaxed, hacked, zapped, and drowned again within a span of 6 years, all because he, like me, has a general disdain for entitled teenagers.
This is the one you've been waiting for.
What's happening to me?
Your psychokineses and these delusions.
No, you're not listening to me!
The one you've been asking for.
Hey, Tina, isn't this the way they wear their jackets back in the mental hospital?
Concentrate. Concentrate, Tina!
The one you've been dying for.
Friday the 13th Part 7 New Blood is, you guessed it, the 7th entry of the Friday the 13th franchise. Directed in 1988 by John Carl Buechler, the special effects artist responsible for a legendary collection of wet puppets like this freak and the septic spelunking ghoulies, Friday the 13th Part 7 picks up after the part in Part 6 Jason Lives, where Part 6 Jason dies. Relegated to life as a balloon with the world's second highest kill count, Jason sits in wait at the bottom of Crystal Lake. Or he's dead? I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to tell with these movies. In 1986, a young woman named Tina Matildas her dad into the cold depths of Crystal Lake by way of telekinesis. A very necessary plot device that has been missing from this otherwise totally grounded and realistic franchise. Scarred by the death of her abusive father, for some reason, Tina is relegated to a mental hospital. An entire decade later in 1988, I guess, Tina returns to the place of her father's death with the hope of finding closure. But with an accidental use of her telekinetic touch, Tina accidentally awakens Jason from his watery tomb, back to exact his revenge on those pesky, sex-crazed teens in an explosive return of the mask. Friday the 13th is bad and weird, but also good and awesome. It's got some things that you would expect from the Friday the 13th franchise, like Jason being big, and Jason doing a murder knife, and Jason breaking through a wall, and lots of teenagers incorporating the nearby woods into Pound Town, USA. That was gross. But like there's also telekinesis for some reason. And like Jason keeps using different weapons and tools to dismantle the youths, but like, where is he getting this stuff? And okay, there's like this cat in the closet, but it's like in the closet and it's not making any noise. And since we don't see the cat in the closet until like halfway through the movie, we just assume that it's been in the closet the whole time. Does the cat live in the closet? How does it eat? Where's it poop? Where does the cat poop, John Carl Beekler? Despite being called New Blood, Part 7 is strangely bloodless. Outside this violent map, the kills are largely tame and unimaginative. But what this movie lacks in gore and joyous murder, it more than makes up for it in the form of incoherent charm and the magnetic presence of Kane Hodder. The best Jason. As Hodder's first foray into the masked maniac, Jason somehow feels more alive and terrifying than before. The character feels more developed and driven. Like a developed character in and of itself and not just some cheap Michael Myers knockoff. Also, this dude is huge, and his eye sure is yucky. Also, is Jason a zombie? I mean, he's a zombie now, right? He's just a zombie now. Ultimately, Friday the 13th Part 7 New Blood is entertaining schlock, worth watching with friends and libations. The ending is bonkers and, frankly, hilarious. The sheer stupidity of a movie where a woman brain blasts an entire couch into a man in a hockey mask puts this entry near the top of the franchise. Not as good as parts 4 or 6, and certainly not as off the wall as Jason X. Definitely a positive experience. I give Friday the 13th Part 7 New Blood 6 Old Bloods out of 10. And if you too would like to be completely flabbergasted by the ending of this movie, you can catch it streaming on Paramount Plus. It's getting late. Hey, why don't you come back tomorrow? Not just to check to see if I'm still alive, but also for our second Sunday Fun Day. I'm gonna review a movie I used to watch all the time as a kid. To be fair, I did watch today's movie as a kid too. That sleeping bag scene scared me into a poopless coma. But I'm gonna ask you to forget I ever said that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna have to try to see if I can find my way back home. And with that spooky castle there at the edge of the woods, I'm gonna do the only rational thing and go inside and see if I can use their phone. See you tomorrow! Does this look real? Does it look real? That's what trees sound like. That's what trees sound like. That's a tree. That's a good tree. That's some good tree. That's a good tree. Get your trees. What is that? Oh.